The Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary tells us that legions of Sith troopers were given the names of ancient Sith Lords as identifiers. We know of legions named after REVAN, ANDEDDU, TANIS, TENEBROUS, PHOBOS, and DESOLOUS. A location on the Sith planet Exegol was also seemingly named for the Sith Lord NAGA SADOW. I think it's safe to say that all of these Sith Lords can now be considered canon, but we don't currently know their actual histories. So today I'll run through all of their legend stories so you can at least know the significance of these characters. REVAN was introduced in the game Knights of the Old Republic. He was a Jedi of the Republic who rose to prominence during the Mandalorian Wars. Against the orders of the Jedi Council, he and his friend Malak joined the fight to protect the Republic, pushing back the Mandalorian invaders through the use of increasingly questionable tactics. In the final battle, REVAN ordered the activation of a super weapon that destroyed both his and his enemy's forces, but ultimately won the war. Learning that the Sith were actually behind the Mandalorian invasion, he and Malak traveled into the unknown regions to seek out and destroy the Sith Emperor, but they were instead turned to the dark side. They returned to the known galaxy as Darth Revan and Darth Malak, intent on conquering the Republic that they once defended. Malak betrayed Revan and nearly killed him, but for the actions of a Jedi named Bastila. Revan's injuries caused him to lose his memory, and so he joined the fight against Malak, rebuilding his skills in the Force until he learned his true identity. But he chose to remain on the light side, defeated Malak, and saved the galaxy once again. From there, Revan's story gets a little weird. He again traveled into the unknown regions to destroy the Sith Emperor, but was captured and imprisoned in stasis for 300 years. Centuries of torture split his mind into his light and dark sides. His dark side was intent on destroying the Emperor at any cost, and the Republic worked to reunite the two halves of his spirit so that he could finally die and be at peace. NAGA SADOW lived about 1,000 years before REVAN. He was half human and half Sith back when they were an actual species. He was a favorite to rule as Dark Lord of the Sith, but his power was challenged by a rival named Ludo Kresh. When their planet Ziost was discovered by Republic explorers, SADOW manufactured the Great Hyperspace War against them and scattered Kresh's forces in the process. His initial attacks were successful, leading to an invasion of Coruscant itself, but he was forced to retreat and chose to hide on Yavin 4, where his warriors erected the Massassi Temple. Darth ANDEDDU was actually first mentioned in canon in the comic Return to Vader's Castle. Back in Legends, he was possibly the first Sith Lord to use the title Darth. He feared his death at the hands of his fellow Sith, and so he was the first to discover the power to transfer his spirit into another living vessel. He entombed himself on the planet Prakith, where he remained for thousands of years until he was revived and destroyed by Darth Warlock. Darth TANIS is actually not a legend Sith, but one newly named in the Visual Dictionary. It stated that he or she developed the temple and superweapon on Malachor. Darth Tenebrous was the legend Sith master of Darth Plagueis, so he was kinda like Palpatine's Sith grandfather. He had a scientific mind, and his own experiments inspired Darth Plagueis' desire to unlock the secrets of using midichlorians to cheat death and create life. Darth Phobos only ever appeared in The Force Unleashed as a Jedi simulation. She lived thousands of years prior to the Clone Wars and was ruthless against her own Sith peers. She created a cult called the Hidden Fear to attack the Jedi and Sith, a group which outlived her. And finally, Darth DESOLOUS was another Sith Lord that appeared as a simulation in The Force Unleashed. He was a Jedi Master that fell to the dark side and was expelled from the Order. He created an army to seek revenge against the Jedi and was able to kill 2,000 of his former allies until he was destroyed. And those are all the named Sith in the Visual Dictionary for the Rise of Skywalker. Again, these histories are from the Legends universe and can't be considered canon except for what little we know about Darth TANIS. When or if these characters are explored in future canon content, their stories will likely be adapted or changed completely. But now you should know where all these Sith Lords' names came from. If you have more questions about the Rise of Skywalker, leave them in the comments and maybe I'll answer them in future videos. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.